When my wife gave me an ultimatum, she believed it would force me to do exactly what she wanted. Standing in the living room with her arms folded and confidence in her voice, she said, "Either you choose this marriage and give up your obsession with work, or I'm leaving." Her words filled the room, and for a moment I simply looked at her, realizing this was never really about my job. It was about control, about testing limits to see how much I was willing to sacrifice in the name of love. I had always been patient with her temper, always the one who gave in to keep the peace. But that day, something inside me changed. For the first time, I saw clearly how much I had given, and how much of myself I had lost trying to please someone who treated love like a bargaining tool instead of a partnership. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I calmly replied, "If leaving is your choice, I won't stop you." The silence that followed felt heavy. Her expression shifted. She never expected me to stand my ground. For years, she had relied on emotion to get her way, knowing how much I disliked conflict and how hard I worked to keep our home stable. But this time, I was finished sacrificing my self-respect for a peace that never truly lasted. She packed a bag, convinced I would run after her like I always had. But I didn't. I remained where I was and watched her walk out. The weight of that moment settled deep inside me. Days became weeks, and for a while, the house felt empty, quiet in a way that made me question my decision. Yet with every passing day, that silence turned into clarity. I slept better, thought more clearly, reconnected with old friends, and even returned to hobbies I had left behind. For the first time in years, I felt like myself again. Then one evening she appeared at my door without warning. The confidence she once carried was gone. She looked uneasy, her eyes wandering around the house as though she hardly recognized it. "I didn't think you'd actually let me go," she said softly, her voice shaking. I looked at her calmly and answered, "You asked me to choose and I did. I chose peace." She broke down in tears, insisting that I had misunderstood her and claiming she only wanted to feel important. But her words couldn't erase the months of manipulation that came before that moment. I had asked for partnership, not power struggles. I had pleaded for honest communication, not ultimatums. She chose control instead of connection, and now she was learning too late that love built on demands eventually collapses under its own weight. She tried to move back in, saying she had nowhere else to go, but by then my decision had already been made. "You can't keep coming back whenever you regret your choices," I told her firmly. The finality in my voice made her step back. I had quietly filed for separation, not out of anger or revenge, but because it was necessary. I needed to reclaim the parts of myself that had been buried beneath years of emotional compromise. The same people who once called me cold for letting her leave eventually told me they understood. They noticed the difference. They heard the calmness in my voice, saw the confidence in the way I carried myself, and recognized the peace I had finally found, peace that no one could take away. I learned that ultimatums are rarely about solving problems. More often they are about control. Real love does not come with conditions that force someone to choose between who they are and the relationship they are in. It grows through mutual respect, honest conversations, and shared growth. My wife's ultimatum backfired, not because I wanted her gone, but because I finally understood that I deserved a marriage built on equality rather than threats. When I closed that chapter of my life, I did so without anger. I did it with acceptance. I had given her every opportunity to meet me halfway, but when she drew a line meant to trap me, I chose to step across it and move forward, free, peaceful, and finally whole.